This is a hard one to talk about because it's subjective to a point. I'd like to say if it's right, it's right. If it's wrong, it's just wrong. And that's kind of where I'm going to in this video is when you're talking about anatomy or face, eyes, noses. We've all looked at paintings and the nose or the eyes were so far off, one's so much bigger than the other that it was distracting. And that's the line, is that you can be subjective, you can be creative, but if it's not completely stylized and you're really kind of going after something that's more realistic looking, you kind of want to lead the viewer through your piece. And if they stop on something that is unsettling, that you don't want to be unsettling, like, the nose is too big, one eye's too big, one eye's too small, eyes are super close together, eyes are too far apart, that's when I say if it's right, it's right. If it's wrong, it's just wrong. Anatomy can be the same way. You can experiment with anatomy, but the basic muscle structure needs to be real enough to pull the viewer in to your story. If it stops them because it's distracting, and distracting in a bad way, that's when you need to think about it. That's when you need to go back and go, how can I fix this? So we're going to be talking about that in a specific piece that I've recently done, and see what you guys think. I'd love to hear your comments because this is a touchy subject. A lot of people like to hide behind style. That's my style, or I want to be loose. I'm just trying to be loose. But I'm going to go back to if it's right, it's right. And if it's wrong, it's just wrong. And when I say wrong, I mean it stops the viewer from moving further into your piece. So, anyhow, I always say this, but this is going to be fun. And I'm anxious to hear what you guys think. Come on, let's go. If it's right, it's right. If it's wrong, it's just wrong. And as artists, we get so connected to certain things in our drawings, parts that we really, really like or that we think we executed extremely well. And then you sit back and you look and you go, it's just not right. And this face is one of those examples. I really like this nose. I'm not going to obviously try to change the nose. The distance between the mouth, I've already raised the mouth up some. The eyes, I keep going, do I got to lower them? Do I got to lower them? Do I got to lower them? Something is wrong with this face, right? I don't know 100% what it is. I have an idea, but something is wrong with the face. And this is what I'm talking about. Even though you could get away in saying, well, a lot of people's eyes are closer together, a lot of faces are longer, a lot of chins are longer, a lot of, noses are thick, they're thin, they're all different. So you can get away with it and you can rationalize that and create excuses for your work. But in the end, it's a visualization of a character. Then it has to relate to the viewer, right? In the end, it's got to relate to the viewer, right? So you've got to, if you visualize, look at this, and you go, God, there is just something wrong, but you like the mouth, you like the nose, you dig the eyes, the shadows are great, the highlights are good, but there's still something wrong. You need to sit back and do the work and figure out what it is. I'm not 100% convinced I want to lower these eyes yet, but I do feel like there's something wrong here. If you think of the cheekbones, I do want this longer face, more elfish face. Cheekbones come here. The skin is going to the cheekbones come around. It's going to drop down into the jaw teeth area here and wrap around here. And so theoretically, I could push this a little thinner. But I think in doing that around this way as well, I could create the shadow a little bit more. But I also think I could really crank up this chin a little bit. Definitely got some areas here that I gotta address now. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to figure this out right away, because now it looks like I've just taken her chin away. So I definitely have to go in and erase. Here it is. Goodbye, my needed eraser. And recreate the highlight on the chin there. And I might have to do it because now I've worked this face enough where I'm probably going to have to definitely do it with white charcoal pencil here. To me, that already is starting to read a little better. And of course, I do have reference, and I try to use my reference as often as I can. But I'm not a slave to my reference. See, to me, that's already reading a whole bunch better. Give it a little bit of a neck line here, just real subtle. And then I had a nice little highlight that I liked. I think I'm going to definitely still keep that. It's going to kind of define that lower part of the chin and the jawline, just a hair bit coming out this way. And I think the other key too is don't be afraid. See, I already think that looks a whole bunch better than where it started. Definitely feels like she's got a chin now versus it was round and kind of funny looking before. But I'm also going to make sure that I don't overwork it. And this neck was kind of popping out. Reality is it shouldn't pop out like that. It should just go down nicely like that. So look at that. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about. And there's a whole bunch of things in this particular drawing. Her face is already better. I don't know if I'm going to mess with that eye. I'm liking that a lot. It's got a good attitude. So I will let it sit. I'm not going to keep pushing. But now I'm coming down here and I'm looking at this area where originally I was thinking of her hand coming out and the kind of demon dog is halfway underneath these robes. But I'm not. I'm going to go ahead and straighten these robes out for her behind the demon dog, pull him out, wrap him around this way, find some reference of a dog sitting that way, and I'm going to fix this. So anyhow, don't get stuck on things. If it's wrong, it's wrong. Figure out a way to make it better. Anyhow, like, follow, share, and keep drawing. It's just too much freaking fun. You guys take care. Bye. So a funny little prelude to this whole thing is I'm going to do a video on this called Let It Rest. But you will see, after I let it rest, let's go back, I was looking at the video that I had just done. Look how far over the chin is to the whole face. It's like, it's completely off-centered. It should be, if it was going to be anywhere, it'd be over on this side more, because you can see a little bit more of her nose there. Her head is slightly turning to her right, but yet the chin is to the left. So I'm going to do another video, and it's going to be called Let It Rest. But I need to scoot that whole chin area over. It's just completely wrong. Anyhow, let it rest. Let it rest. If it's not right, it's not right. So anyhow, I'm gonna scoot this over for just a second. Definitely much, I'm hoping much better. I'm gonna go back and take a look at it, but I feel like it's a little bit better. So anyhow, let it rest. We'll be doing a video on that. Probably the next one. So you guys take care. It's not right. It's not right. So I have to ask, did my hair being all messed up in the first part of the video in the intro make it distracting and harder to hear what I had to say? That's kind of what I'm talking about. It may have, it may not have, but for some people, it would. Guys, take care. Bye.